Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. How you guys doing? Thanks for tuning in today. What the hell is this light on my face right here? What is going on? It's like the light of God on me. Anyways, we're going to have to run with it because I can't do anything about the sun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, we got ourselves a good old-fashioned comic book haul. It's been a long time since I've done a comic book haul. You know, a lot of news event videos, things to talk about, you know, things going on and grading and all this sort of stuff. And I still am buying a lot of comic books, and I just haven't felt like it was the right time to talk about some of the things I've been picking up. So in this video, I wanted to do a throwback, a classic comic book haul. Now, what makes this one a little bit special is that this is a high-grade comic book haul. A few of these books I picked up this past weekend, but some of the other ones have been ones that I've acquired and accumulated over the last couple of weeks, and all of them are very nice copies, very high grade. And I felt like sharing them with you guys here today and talking about high-grade comic books in general, specifically that of the vintage style. You know, I think there was a time in the comic book market when low grades were definitely a really good thing to get into because of the fact that the high grades were just unaffordable. But now, you know, with the comic book market having come down and everything sort of simmering, I find that there's a lot of high-grade opportunities out there. And, you know, if you're somebody out there who looks for, you know, secondary market value, high-grade is definitely the way to go because people are a lot more discerning on the low end of the spectrum, which is why I've been, you know, keeping my eye out for the high grade. But of course, before I get into the haul, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, I would appreciate it. Help support the channel, doing those things. But let's get into this video here today. Now, this first book I have right here is one that I couldn't believe that I was able to find this one as nice of a presenting copy as this right here. But this has always been one of my favorite Doctor Doom books, probably my favorite genre of this cover. I consider this a big premiere issue, even though it's not. This first one is Marvel Superheroes number 20 presents Doctor Doom, a beautiful copy. All black cover, square bound book right here. Popped up in my LCS, and I had to swoop it up. Paid a pretty penny for this one. I mean, I still think that I have a little bit of margin on this, but, you know, it was in the high 100 figure range, $800 or so, I think, after tax, you know, around that point. But a really nice pickup for this one. Beautiful copy of this book. One of my all-time favorites. I mean, 1968 covers, I feel like, are absolutely the bee's knees, in my opinion. I mean, you get all the big premiere issues, Iron Man 1, Cap 100, Silver Surfer 1, things of that nature. And I grouped this one in together with that, even though I do think that this is 69 giggity that this book came out. But I absolutely love that cover right there. All right, next up here, another Fantastic Four banger cover. Another one that is always hard to find. It's always wrecked when you see it out there in the wild. But this one was Fantastic Four number 112, the classic Hulk thing cover right there. I mean, again, another all black cover that is high grade. Again, it's the all black covers are really, really hard. Obviously, always showing color breaking creases, always having spine tick issues. So even though this isn't a first appearance or it's not like a major key, I mean, maybe some of you guys would consider this a major key. I mean, it is a key because of the cover, but I feel like anytime you can find those high grade black covers for Silver Age books, no matter what they are, like, you know, there's some of those Doctor Doom covers in the Daredevil run that are amazing, you know, when you have them in high grade. There's some early, like, Avengers books that are just have all black covers, and whenever I see them in high grade, I'm always really, really excited. And this is also one of them, you know, this classic Fantastic Four cover right there. Is that a Buscema cover? But again, to recap, I do think that now is a great time to look for these sort of raw high grade comic books. Find the ones at auction going on eBay all the time. I mean, sure, you have to pay a little bit of a premium, but there's a lot of room on that, you know, especially if you know how to grade, if you know what to look for. It's always a little bit of a gamble, but also if you can look at your LCS, you can find nice copies these days, like this right here. Fantastic Four number 94, guys. Remember this book? First appearance of Agatha Harkness. Man, what do you guys think about this book right now? This is one that has drastically fallen off in terms of its value. I mean, I would lump this one in with White Vision as like one of the OG books of the comic book boom that started it all, that really has had pullbacks. Now, of course, I think it's later this year we're going to be getting House of Harkness or Coven of Chaos or whatever they decided to call it. I like Kathryn Hahn as an actress. I think she's really, really funny in all the stuff she does. I'm not necessarily convinced that Agatha Harkness is a character that needs her own show. I'm not necessarily convinced that this book is always going to be like a major key. This is clearly more speculative. But, as far as a minor major key that is always going to have, some collector value. I mean, it's still a Fantastic Four book, top 100 Fantastic Four. I think that there's going to be some value here. And, I'm sure that Agatha Harkness will play a role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for many years to come. All right, next two books I got right here are some Marvel Bronze horror. Not necessarily a tremendous amount of value in these ones, but because they were, nice copies, I had to swoop them up. This first one right here, Chamber of Chills, #1. What do you guys think about these Marvel Bronze horror? I know DC Bronze horror is all the rage. Marvel Bronze horror, I don't know if it's all that great. I mean, you guys let me know. The DC Bronze horror covers are way better than the Marvel Bronze ones. But I will say this. Now, I personally have never been a big Bronze Age collector. It's not my favorite age, and I've never really liked the Marvel Comics group strip up there. I never liked the window frame covers, although I'm starting to come around to them. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like my taste buds are changing. I'm starting to enjoy them, and especially when you find nice presenting raw copies of them. I find that they're very, very fun to pick up, like this one right here, and this next one I'm about to show you, which is Vault of Evil #1, another Marvel Bronze horror. Again, these Marvel Bronze horror books, they never really got all that much love. I'm not necessarily sure that they're ever really going to get all that much love, but they're very, very fun books to pick up, and the art is fun. It's not quite the masterpieces that are some of the PCH books or some of the DC horror books, but still cool to collect. All right, let's move on down to the next book right here. A bunch of Strange Tales books. This one's actually really, really cool. I again, a lot of the stuff is not necessarily major keys, but when I come across them and they are, this nice of shape, and you think about how old these books are and the colors and everything, I mean, why not grab it? I mean, Strange Tales #112, first appearance of the Eel. B tier villain, guys. First appearance of the Eel, and a really nice copy. I mean, I'd probably call this like a 9.0, maybe like a 9.2 if I'm lucky, but the colors are great on this one. And again, the early Strange Tales where they didn't do the dual trade dress, where it was just Strange Tales, I think look really awesome. They look fantastic. And it's always surprising to come across a book like this, when it's that old. Sometimes they look like facsimiles when you see them. All right, next in line here is another Strange Tales book. Another one that's not necessarily a major key, although at one point, kind of like the Agatha Harkness one, it probably had a lot more value. But this one is Strange Tales #167, the classic Steranko cover right there. First cover appearance of Contessa. I mean, who knows, guys, with these characters, right? Like Contessa, Harkness. Again, I'm not necessarily convinced that they're going to be major keys, but you never know. I mean, people might really like Elaine, but either way, this is still a great Steranko cover and a really, really nice, sharp copy that I was able to find for myself. I can't remember what I paid for this one. Maybe it was like $150 or something like that. But again, it's like when you see some of these higher grade copies with really nice colors, I feel like those are the ones that are absolutely worth swooping up. All right, 3 more books to share with you guys. This one is another Strange Tales book, one that I've actually never owned. Finally was able to find a copy that I felt like was worth picking up. But this one right here, Strange Tales 169, first appearance of Brother Voodoo. You guys remember when Brother Voodoo was speculated to come to the MCU? I mean, was that ever really going to be a thing? Do you guys still think we're going to get Brother Voodoo? Can I be honest? I don't know much about Brother Voodoo. I've never been a big Brother Voodoo reader. Is he that cool? Is he? You guys let me know in the comments. But, I found this book, classic, Romita cover, really cool character seemingly, even though I've never done much reading of him. But, again, another book that high grade, nice presenting. I mean, we're getting a little bit later, 1974. There's more, high grade copies of this era versus the early 60s and stuff. But still, really cool to find that in the wild. All right, second to last book right here, Tales of Suspense this time. Another one that, again, not necessarily a major key, but when we're talking about, really nice presenting copies, I mean, this is a very cool Kirby, Captain America versus Black Panther right here. Not necessarily their first meeting. Actually, I wonder if this is their first meeting. No, I think they mean the previous issue. But another cover that's just really, really appealing just because it presents so nicely. You know what I mean? Like great colors on this one, cool, characters. I love the trade dress. I love when they do Captain America with the American flag strips right there. So really awesome to find this one as well. And then the last book to round it out here, the 10 comic books that I have for my haul that I've been picking up over the course of the last few weeks. This one is a little bit of a cheat. It's not as high grade as these other ones. These are actually high grade. This one right here, it's more of a mid grade. I'd probably give this like a 5.0, but it's a nice looking 5.0. ASM Annual #1. First appearance of the Sinister Six. Another nice presenting copy of this. I mean, you guys can see lots of color breaks. Down there, there's some color breaks. Probably doesn't show up on camera, but it's a nice version of this book. And I guess that's kind of where I will end my video talking about high grades. I really noticed, where we are in the comic book market, where we are now. I mean, things are starting to get a little bit heated again. I don't know if you guys are feeling that. I mean, I think things are picking up just a little bit, but I would say generally my experience has been that the higher grade stuff, the nicer presenting versions of comic books are really the ones that are the most desirable. I mean, I know that's always been the case, but we were definitely at a point where anything was selling. I mean, you could have the most reader of reader copies out there in the market, still commanding a premium if it was a big enough of a key. But, we kind of hit this point where now people are being really, really discerning. And, the key is to find those nice presenting copies of those books that people really like, or of the covers that are done by artists that people love, or of the covers that have, people's favorite characters on them. And those are the ones that I find, to be the ones that are definitely the most desirable, definitely the ones that are most sought after. And colors, I think, are really underrated and undervalued. Something that, the grading companies, they don't really put much of a premium on the covers. I mean, that's something that you just have to discern for yourself of you think that this book right here has nice colors. And so anytime I can come across high grade copies of, even if it's just sort of a run fill book of a Silver Age book, something like this, but the colors look really, really great, I definitely think that if the price is right, I am definitely going to pick it up. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. That's me sharing my high grade Silver Age comic book haul with you guys. What have you guys been buying out there recently? What do you guys think about high grade versus low grade? Do you guys have opinions on this stuff? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one.